How has your quarantine experience been? Have you been a little curious about what it's like to be in quarantine as a queer person? A Queerious quarantine? And what's up with this new look and this new name on my channel? In this video, we'll be tackling 5 things about me and what I've learned about my Queerious quarantine experience. Hi mga Vax! I'm Ruod.
Hi guys!
Hi! And every week, I will share with you something that I'm curious about. And this week, I'm curious about the concept of framing. So framing is a way that a story is told. It's the use of different symbols, images, and whatnot to trigger a shared cultural model that helps us make sense of the world.
Whoa!
To learn more about the concept of framing, I will link the channel of the Frameworks Institute down below. Before we start, please like and subscribe to this channel. I'll wait for you. Are you doing it? Ayan na ba? Okay, I want to hit 100 before the end of this month. Please help me.
I do too.
Me too.
I'm more of a dog person.
I have to watch what
I feel like they'll smother me.
So it's been about 2 months since the start of quarantine here in Manila, and I've been luckier than most. I have people around me, and I've even had the time to rethink this whole YouTube thing. So in this video, I'll talk about 5 things that I've learned throughout this Queerious quarantine experience and how it has shaped me and the way that I've revamped this YouTube channel. Let's go! Number 1, hobbyize something. Now I know hobbyize isn't a word, but it's just to make something a hobby that you're interested in or something that you've been putting off for a while. So during this quarantine experience, there have been 2 things that I am trying to hobbyize. That's personal finance and productivity. So let's go one by one. 1, personal finance. It's been something that I have been interested in for a while. In 2019 was really the year that I promised myself that I would fix my finances, get out of debt, which I did. And 2020 was when I discovered a lot of personal finance YouTubers that helped create a system for me. So people such as Kristen Stones, The Budget Mom, Graham Stephan, and Financial Diet really helped me towards creating goals for myself. If you want to check them out, I will link their channels down below. So throughout the quarantine experience, I am glad that I've built up a little bit of my emergency fund. And you might be wondering, Rod, what the bleep is an emergency fund?
I don't know, I'm not psychic!
An emergency fund is there to help fund any emergencies. Wow, so easy.
So funny.
There are times in our life that we can't predict and we need money for us to sustain ourselves, and an emergency fund is the perfect place to dip into once you have those moments. So an ideal emergency fund would be 3 to 6 months of living expenses. And if you can go beyond that, that's wonderful. So right now, my goal during the quarantine, as I am lucky and privileged enough to be earning money while still in quarantine, is to build up a 6-month emergency fund. Number 2, productivity. So with productivity, I haven't really been into productivity before because sometimes I just think it's a load of crap.
Drag her, slay her, sipping on that true tea, hunty.
But now I understand why people do it. Before the quarantine, I was really kind of a get as they come kind of person, like very spontaneous, and I didn't really think much of productivity. But when the quarantine started, it really stressed me out because I didn't know what to do. There are a lot of times where I felt like I was working too much, and then there were times where I felt like I didn't work as much. So I had to make that schedule happen and kind of make a compromise where I had chunks of work and then chunks of rest so that I felt more productive. And it really did ease a lot of the stress that I had. Number 2 thing I've learned is to keep connections, and that connections are very important. Relationships during the quarantine are something of great value to a lot of us, and I am lucky to say that I have 3 people around me. And that has kept me sane these past 2 months because I don't think I would have survived without anyone with me. No. My family members, my groups, my sets of parents are getting pretty old. I hope you don't watch this. I didn't call you old.
Boy, if you don't stop!
They're getting pretty mature. So, this whole quarantine situation has brought up a lot of fears in me, and getting to talk to them, whether online or on the phone, has been something that helps me relax more, and knowing that they're not like other boomers who go out every once in a while and just do what they want to do is also something that I'm proud of, and it's something that I'm glad that they don't do.
Did I lie? Did I lie? Did I fucking lie?
I also learned to make sure that there is space. Right now, that might not mean a physical space with the people around you, but emotional and mental space is very important. When this quarantine started, I spent every day with my partner, and we were kind of like very clingy at the start, and then nagkasawaan in the end.
You hate me? You hated me!
You hated me.
So, it's knowing that people need emotional and mental space and to give it to them, because we are all dealing with this lockdown differently and we need time to process it by ourselves. So again, connection is important, but that also means connection with yourself and help people to connect with themselves too. You know, you can pause this video right now and just call someone. Call a friend, call your significant other, call that tita that gave you that fruitcake last Christmas. Just pause it and just do that right now. Ay, you fucking scare me. Dude, do you think if I give you like $2, you could take me to the fucking store? Number 3. In connection to number 1, keeping a routine helps me stay productive. I was a bit of a follower of a routine before in terms of what I do in the morning and the evening before I sleep, but nothing too rigid. But now that I'm in quarantine, creating this routine for weekdays has been a godsend for me, and it's really helped me throughout the times when I don't feel like working or doing anything. And one thing that I feel like has been very helpful because of the routine is that I've gotten the time to be creative, which means like doing my makeup looks, also exercising. Who knew that I would be into exercising? I've been exercising every day for the past 2 months, at least during weekdays. And I've had the time to learn some new stuff because I always allocate time for those things. And because of creating this routine, it meant that I could break down my work into chunks of time throughout the day, and then also have time for myself, like to do my makeup, to do exercise, and to learn something new without disrupting my work time. And this has been great. It's something that I recommend you all try. It doesn't have to be as rigid. And if you want me to share how I do my weekday routine, you can comment down below and I can share with you how I do it. Number 4. Work and life can easily blend together, so try to keep them as separate as possible. At the start of this quarantine, something that I've noticed was when I didn't start my routine yet, it was easy to get so stressed about work and just keep on working because I could. And then I realized I shouldn't really do that. And once the routine was there, it was easier for me to keep my work in chunks during the day instead of just one full stretch with some breaks that I didn't even know wasn't work. It easily stressed me out because of the whole situation already, and I didn't know where my work ended and where my life started. So keeping a routine really helped me put things into chunks.
But imagine how tired we are. Imagine how tired we are of it.
To work, and then this is my time to kind of play or do something else, and I wouldn't feel bad about it. Another tip would be to tell your workmates about this. Like if you only want to work, like for example 9 to 6, you're open to messages during that time, but after that you won't be responding, is something that you can do for yourself and for them also, to set the expectations that that's the only time you're available. Sometimes it can't be helped that there will be work that comes in, but try as much as possible to stay within your routine. And if that means that you're more productive during the later hours at night, then maybe adjust your routine throughout the day. So if that means 12 to 3 a.m. where you're more productive, maybe that means leaving the bed a little bit later and then reserving your work to the later parts of the day because that's when you feel more productive. Again, as said in number 3, keeping a schedule or routine really helps you break down when you have to work and when you can do something else that has nothing to do with work without feeling guilty, and then also giving yourself the time to rest. Because as I have seen and I have also experienced, there could be times that you feel like you should work and work and work, but it doesn't mean you should. And for number 5, give yourself as much compassion as you need. During these trying times, it is such a confusing and anxiety-laden kind of world right now, and we really don't know what's going to happen next. And it's easy to get rattled, it's easy to get sad, even depressed, anxious about what's happening. And there will be days that are harder than others. Like for me, there are days that it's harder to get out of bed. And those are the days when you need the most compassion. And that's compassion that you give yourself. Give yourself the time to wake up maybe in 5 more minutes, in an hour, or even spend the day in bed if you need to, just to help you process what you need to process and make sure that you get up again and do what you need to do. It's easy to say that we need to be productive, we need to do something, we need to work, but we need to take care of ourselves first, and our health, both our physical and mental health, and that means being in tune and aware about how we're feeling. And if we're not feeling that well, maybe we need to give ourselves the time, the space, the compassion to recover before trying to be productive again. So give yourself that compassion because there's so much to go around, and give others that compassion, and realize that we are in a time that we need it the most. So why did I revamp this channel? Why is this new?
What was the reason? What was the reason? What was the reason?
All of these things that I've learned throughout the quarantine have helped me set my priorities straight and see what I could be able to share to the world that would be helpful. And I felt that I put myself in such a box when it was still styled by Ruod. The Queerious Life opens up as a way for me, as a platform, to see things through the eyes of a queer, non-binary Filipino person, and to see the things that I'm curious about, or in this case, queerious about.
Stupid ass.
And I hope that this means that I can expand a little bit more than just beauty. I can talk about different issues, maybe about productivity again, personal finance, and that we all get to share more of ourselves. I want to hear more, especially from queer persons of color around the world, how their experiences have been and what they've been curious about, so that we can all use this as sort of a platform of us being a community of queer people who are curious about life, who are trying to navigate it and be able to do it in our own terms. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you learned 1 thing or 2 things or maybe 5 things about my Queerious quarantine experience. And please don't forget to like and subscribe down below. I think it's this side, or maybe it's this side. And please don't forget to hit the bell notification to get more updates about new videos that come up. I will try to upload weekly as much as possible. And if you want to learn more about updates on future video topics, you can connect with me at Instagram or TikTok. The handle is @Queerious Life. So thank you again, and hope you're well and safe. Bye mga backs!